My people, what's up? How we doing? I think it's been like probably 21 days since I've done a YouTube video. So I've been slacking, but I needed a little reset. I was off Instagram way less than usual. Sometimes my mind needs that reset because I struggle to really isolate my thoughts sometimes when I got a lot of shit going on up in there. If you can't tell, if you can't tell by past videos with all the different perspectives and avenues I go down and all the different things I talk about. But this is a late night video. I'm about to read and go to bed. So I don't know how long I'll do this. Maybe it'll be a typical 20-minute video. Who knows? But I just got out of work. And every night after work, I call my nanny. And I have a conversation with her. Mainly I call her to tell her I love her and good night. But sometimes I have a conversation with her and we talk about things. Whatever it might be. And I'm in a area of my life right now. A lot of people are getting married, having kids. Beautiful things. Beautiful things. Especially if you're a certain demographic of people. We need to have more children. We need more people getting married. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not anti-marriage. It makes me ecstatic to think of friends or family of mine that are getting married and having children. Assuming it's a good girl or a girl in my family meets a good dude. It makes me happy. I love seeing people do better for themselves. I love people do good for themselves. And I love seeing good things happen to good people. Genuinely, wholeheartedly. I've never been able to fake that. It's always been something that I've kind of naturally felt. I've never been a hater. I've always been the one to get hated on. Because I'm the motherfucker that says what comes to mind and says what I got to say and says what I need to say. When most people are too afraid to say it, which makes people hate. Anyways, a lot of people are getting married and having kids. It's a beautiful thing. But let me tell you something, man. It is dangerous today, dude. It's dangerous today. These women, this day and age, it's not a joke. You meet a woman, God only knows what she was doing in her past. God only knows. Some of the, I don't want to go into too much detail. The reason I brought this up, my nanny was talking about somebody in our family that went through a breakup. And the girl cheated on him. Now, it happens, right? But what this dude was doing was the stereotypical thing that, like, what I like to call blue-pilled people would recommend. Give her flowers, listen to her, be there for her, be a lending ear, basically put her on a pedestal, chase her, make her feel like she's a queen, the happy wife, happy life lifestyle, right? This is the kind of shit that I've had people who, I really don't want to go into too much detail right now. This is the kind of shit that I've had people that I've grown up with, guys, come to me and say, who hurt you, bro? Who hurt you? Right? As if, like, I say this from some, like, bitter, salty place because some girl broke my heart. So now I hate women or something, right? Like, it's comical. It's gross, but it's comical. So anyways, I had this conversation with my nanny and we're talking about it. And, she tells me all the things that this person was doing for this girl and where he met her and what happened and how it's been a year and he still loves her and he misses her. And what broke my heart the most is that this person doesn't have a role model. And I told her, this person's 19. And I told her, man, when I was 19, Nani, I couldn't tell you how many times today I think back to being 19 and I think, man, I wish I was there for myself back then. I wish I had someone like me today there for me then. You know what I mean? Because this life as a dude is just, especially today, it's weird. We live this life of comfort and ease with technology and, all the common comforts we have, running water, air conditioning, GPS, like the phones, AirPods. I got red light therapy on me right now. The list goes on and on and on. But this life comes with some strange struggles for young men today and men in general. And it's tough for the women too, but the women don't realize it's tough until they hit the wall. Until they hit 35 and they realize that good guy they should have married, they should have stayed faithful to, they cheated on him, and now they're looking for the nice guy to finish last. The women don't realize how tough they got it until they hit that wall and they realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been twerking to Cardi B at the club. Maybe I shouldn't have been sleeping with every single dude I grew up with. Maybe I should have saved myself for marriage. Maybe I should have been religious. Maybe I should understand how lucky I am to have a specific man and not think that there's better out there. Maybe I should be grateful. Maybe I should stop comparing myself to every other woman and thinking I need a bigger ring and thinking I need fake lashes and 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 likes on social media. These women don't really realize that until they hit what is called the wall. And the wall is undefeated. So listen to me, gentlemen. Every one of these women are going to hit 30. They're going to hit 35. They're going to hit 40. And they're going to think to themselves, what the F did I do to myself? What did I do to myself? When they're run down, they're beat to shit, no good man wants them anymore. And guess what happens to men like me and men like us that take care of ourselves? We win. We win. Because another gorgeous woman turns 18 every day. And I'm not saying that you guys should be going for 18-year-old girls if you're 30, 35, 33 like me, 40. I'm not saying that. I think the legal age should be 21. I'm reminding yous. There's a quote. She's not yours, or she's never yours. It's just your turn. Unless a woman dies with you, she is never yours. It is literally your turn. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care. I don't care if she said her vows. All beautiful things. Hey, listen, if it was 1940, is my hair sticking up? If it was 1940, maybe I would never say this quote. Maybe. But today, with how female hypergamy has been amplified, she's never yours, it's just your turn. Ever. I don't care if she said vows. I don't care if she wrote love letters to you. I don't care if she cooks for you. I don't care if she says I love you every night. It doesn't matter. She is loyal to one thing and one thing only. Her effing emotions. Her effing emotions. So you need to keep this in mind as a man. And it legitimately, I physically feel pain for this young man, this 19-year-old kid that me and my nanny talked about. I physically feel pain because I've been there, bro. The whole reason why I've even started this social media YouTube shit and I started ranting about the red pill and the stuff on my Instagram is because of that. Because of that, and because I genuinely like giving what I believe is good advice and good knowledge and information to other men. Because I'm 33 years old, I'll tell you right now, there ain't a dude I know that knows women like I do. Not that I grew up with. Not that I grew up with. And it's not because I've slept with a bunch of women or I can get every bitch. It's because I put in the work to listen, to watch and listen. Listen to the questions these women are asked in these street interviews, podcasts, Fresh and Fit. These women are asked every single question regarding intersexual dynamics and relationships you can possibly think of. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter what their career path is. They're asked questions and I listen. I watch and I listen. And then I combine my personal experiences with women. How women have reacted to how I've handled things. That's what allows me to give this information. And you don't have to agree with me, but I'll die on this shit. If I'm lying, I'm dying. If I'm lying, I'm dying, because I will die on this shit. There's a dude on Instagram, his name is Bitches Ain't Shit. And I shared a story of his earlier, and I say this a lot. There's dudes that are going to see that story, and I said there's dudes that are married and that aren't going to follow this guy, even though I'm saying they should in this story post. They're still not going to follow him. Those are the dudes that suffer. The dudes that have the knowledge and the tools and the information at their fingertips, but don't take advantage of it or brush it off as like nonsense. Andrew Tate is nonsense. He's cocky. He's cocky. What color's your Bugatti? That dude's cocky. He doesn't know women. He doesn't have good women in his life. Do you know how every woman in the world wants Andrew Tate? Every woman in the world. You're a dumbass. You want to know why you're a dumbass? Because you think that if you're having a conversation with a woman and you say, hey, do you like Andrew Tate? And she says, ew, no, I want nothing to do with him. You believe her. You believe a woman's words. You listen, the quote is never trust a woman's words, always trust her actions, as if that's like some needed advice. Like everybody should know the quote, actions speak louder than words. But here's the problem with women. Even their actions you can't trust. You know, like a good green flag for a woman in a relationship is if she's willing to cook for you, if she's constantly at your service, if she's always willing to be there for you, if she's always checking on you. How do you feel? If her emotions are kind of dictated by your emotions, she's like in your frame is what it's called. She follows you as she should. Even all those green flags, you still can't fucking trust it. You want to know why? Because they're only loyal to their emotions. And if she can't control her emotions, that's when she cheats. That's when her friend gets in her head and says, he's not good for you, break up with him, cheat on him, divorce him. This is what these women are today. And it's terrible, because one of the most beautiful bonds, if not the most beautiful bond, is the genuine, true bond of a badass masculine man and woman. Like a 1940s relationship, 1950s relationship where the woman knows her role, the man knows his role, she loves and serves him, he's willing to die for her with zero hesitation. The genuine bond between a masculine and feminine woman is just out of this world, but because we're so freaking corrupted today, it's practically non-existent. The only positive is as a man, you win in the end. As a man, you don't necessarily need to get married. As a man, you don't necessarily need to have kids, even though I believe that we're biologically programmed to get married and have children. As human beings, we're biologically programmed. It's just as a man, you're not as biologically programmed as a woman is. This is why women become cat moms and dog moms, and they get 40 cats or 4 dogs, and they become religious at 35 years old because they were whores their entire lives. But as men, we win in the long run, and it's kind of sad, right? It's kind of sad. Like, every man on earth wants to go to work and come home to his woman, waiting at the door, and the dog coming up to him at the door, and his baby beautiful girl or beautiful boy just running, daddy, running up into his arms. Every man on earth wants that. Every man on earth wants that shit. And if he doesn't, he's gay. But it's unrealistic today. And not only is it unrealistic, if it happens, it's not a for sure thing to always be there. That's the sad part. When you're a guy like me and you've seen the things I've seen and you've experienced the things I've experienced with married women and women with boyfriends, what they're willing to say and what they're willing to do to go behind the man's back and cheat. This world is just, we're so lost and corrupted. And I'm not perfect, fellas. I'm not perfect, dude, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm no fucking simp. I'm no simp. I was just in the shower and I was thinking to myself what I'm going to say in this video. I'm 14 minutes in. One of the most important things as a man is to have genuine, radical, and I mean radical love for yourself and who you are. And the people that call you cocky, they're man, I struggle with wording things because I want to call them the F word. The people that call you cocky are just miserable, jealous, envious haters. If you ever need to really represent who the F you are, because sometimes you need to be humble, but you also need to have the ability to remind people, and more importantly, remind yourself who the F you are. Because I have spouts where I go a day, 2 days, and I think to myself, insecure thoughts. I lose control of who I really am, like my confidence and what I know I'm capable of and what I know I've done, my self-respect. The mind is just, it's all over the place. So there's times where I'm in a funk, and I've got really good at what David Goggins calls the mental Rolodex, which is where you go back into the deep, dark depths of your mind and you start pulling out things that you've done and that you've accomplished and you've overcome, and you remind yourself who the F you are. And I'm in the shower just now, and I'm reminding myself who I am, thinking of the things I've done, thinking of how I've handled myself in instances, specifically instances like I'm talking about right now, intersexual dynamics with women, how I've handled myself when women have disrespected me. And I've not always been perfect. I had a bout recently with an ex-girlfriend who was just treating me like dog shit, like genuine dog shit. And it's a complicated situation as to why I was even contacting her. But I lost control of my emotions. I did dumb things. I said dumb things. I broke every rule that I live up to and that I advise friends and I represent and I post and I rant about. And I broke like a bitch. But the entire time when I was loathing in my pathetic misery for breaking who I was, when I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because I was ashamed of how I handled the situation, I kept telling myself, I'm going to be better from this. I haven't had a situation like that since I was like 25, right? It's a complicated situation. There's something involved that I love and I've loved more than anything that she kind of held over my head and held against me. Almost like a child, like my own child, right? And she like held it above my head. So there was a lot of things that were messing with my head, but it's not an excuse. I broke like a bitch. Like, you should be stoic with how you handle women. You should show no emotion. And I broke like a bitch. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I love being able to get on here and tell people my faults and weaknesses because F you. You you don't even, 90% of these people don't even like themselves. Why do I care what you think of me? I'm getting on here and saying this shit for the betterment of the men that I hope, if they're not watching my YouTube channel now, in the future, they'll see this shit. But 11:20 at night. I'm going to be up at 5:45 to train weights tomorrow. And then I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu. Maybe I do Muay Thai before jiu-jitsu, maybe not. But then I'm going to go to work. And I'm going to start my week tomorrow like a bad motherfucker. Because this is what we do as men. This is what we do. I love you guys. I'm out for now.